This is a Jekyll Knight video blog. You know, there's a legend that a lot of guys know, women you don't know about, so go back to washing dishes or something. But there's one thing that guys, like there's legends, about women and stuff in general. And the biggest one that, I don't know if it's true or not, I've tried it, but, there's a legend of the Cookie Monster eyes. And you know what I'm talking about. And just in case you don't, it's an old tale that goes back to like the 1900s, It might be a myth, it might be a old wives' tale, but, some legends have it that, you can actually give a woman Cookie Monster eyes. And that's, like when you're like in the sack with her, and, you're performing oral sex on her. And, you get to that point where she's feeling it, and all of a sudden she climaxes. And when you climax, you just go for it as fast and as hard as you can, And, like the pleasure will get so intense that her eyes will just start bouncing around her eye sockets like the Cookie Monster, I don't know if that's true or not. I've tried it, Usually, she's like, why the fuck are you staring at me while you're doing that? I've never been successful. I've heard that guys, have done it, but there's really no proof. I looked all over the internet too, and I found some weird stuff that, I probably shouldn't have looked for that on the internet. But, have you ever been successful at proving the Cookie Monster eye legend? Do you know if it's true or not, If you have a lady right now, I suggest you try doing that, Just, go down on her, Just do it slowly, and when she hits that point of organism, that's a word I'll use, so I don't get flagged for being age appropriate or shit, When she reaches the point of climax and organism, you just keep, going down as much as you can, just don't stop, just give her such intense pleasure, and then see if her eyes, bounce around, her skull, like the Cookie Monster, the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street, right? Like, me is for cookie. He has those crazy eyes that's been giving me nightmares ever since I've been a little kid, I don't know, I've always wanted to try this out, and I have, and I failed. But, have you tried that out? If so, leave a comment and see, You can be like, you can say it's true, which I don't really believe it. You can say it's false. You can say, Jekyll Knight, you're a freaking idiot, Whatever you want, Well, I'm gonna have to try that sometime, Anyways, this is a quick Jekyll Knight video blog. Jekyll Knight signing out.